Hey everybody, it's your favorite bard, Korak the Bard, and today I emerge from my high bear nation as a druid, having recovered from a long season of wild D&D bear sex, to report on the loving embrace of FromSoft's latest offering, Shadow of the Erdtree. Lately I've been busy with my other channel, and if you like political satire and atheist-related debates, by all means check out Atheism 101. Meanwhile, the Elden Ring DLC has caused quite a stir in the gaming community, and I felt obliged to add my 2 cents to the debate, as it seems a lot of poor, downtrodden gamers have forgotten exactly what kind of game it is they think they're playing. This is Elden Ring, another masterpiece in a long line of a glorious history of Souls games. And there are still some undescended testies out there bitching about this game being difficult? First of all, difficulty is a hallmark of FromSoft's Souls series, and there is no end to the think pieces that were produced when Elden Ring was first released about its difficulty and how the boss Margit was the first high water mark of skill versus exploration in the game, as the game had a set difficulty and it was up to you, dear player, to explore the world and figure out how to overcome this obstacle. As usual, Dunkey put it best.
Elden Ring's gameplay loop was to put a bullshit boss in front of you and say, okay, now go into the world and find something to chop his head off with.
That never changed. And I have no idea why players today are expressing shock that a FromSoft game is punishingly difficult.
Hey, Potato Head!
Did you all take stupid pills this morning?
Just because you're in the DLC with big bad endgame gear and weapons and you think your skills are going to breeze you through this next level of content, well...
But I need to tell you something about all your skills. As of right now, they mean precisely dick.
It's no different than when you bought the first World of Warcraft expansion with your level 60 raiding gear, or whatever you were wearing the moment you stepped into Wrath of the Lich King, which, by the way, just like Elden Ring, you had to play the original game first in order to access the DLC content. Once you got there, all your experience up until that point only equipped you with an idea of what's to come. Your gear and skill set was now competing in a world in which there were only better choices, which, judging by FromSoft's reputation, means you're going to be challenged, pushed, and punished until you learn how to overcome the challenges presented. Look, there are already videos of some savant laying out the R'hllana fight perfectly and showing that if you have a slick enough dodge game, it can certainly be done. But a lot of you decide instead to bang your head against the same wall of a boss for days at a time, hoping that each and every dodge will be perfect, when instead, you can change up your play style. But my favorite bard, Korak the Bard, you may say, who the hell are you to tell me about my Elden Ring playstyle? Well, I've tried many different playstyles throughout my adventures as an Elden Lord. First as a sword and board type strength faith tank, then decided to get fancy with my Elden Ring cosplay as King Leonidas wielding a spear, shield, and a sword, Trevor Belmont with dual wielding whips, Kratos with his chaos blades, and finally Aang with a plethora of different elemental based magic spells. I've tested almost every playstyle and enjoyed them all, and never did I start over as a new character. I've only kept upping the ante as I experimented with new builds, and I entered the DLC on New Game Plus 4 after killing Mohg with his own spear. And I gotta say, that's a real hoot. Highly recommend. Watching Mohg go down to his own special move is a highly cherished fuck you to the blood god I'll forever hold in my cold gamer heart. But I digress. I was talking about changing your playstyle to fit the fight. Do all you dual greatsword wielding one-hit punch man super bonk giga chads realize that fucking shields exist? That there are more attacks than just jumping around with your dick out? I've seen countless hours of video game YouTubers running in with your dual wield bonk build or your dual wield stab build, expecting to dodge every attack, succumbing to a ridiculous 20-hit combo, then bitching that the game is too hard without changing a goddamn thing about your strategy. Doing the same thing over and over again without changing a fucking thing and expecting a different goddamn result is literally madness. Certainly, if you've played Elden Ring up to this point, you've learned at least this much. I know some of you dunderheads watch Dragon Ball Z, so I'd like to present you with my favorite build, the Gohan build. Now tell me, what's Gohan famous for not doing?
How to fly!
Dodge! 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 Dodge!
That's right, Dodging. I don't like dodging, so I don't dodge. Well, sometimes I do when I need to, but there's nothing as satisfying to me than digging in my heels, strapping on my shield, eating a boss's best shot like a pancake, not giving an inch and saying, "That all you got?" Then taking my turn to get my licks in.
My turn.
I've been doing this all throughout the Dark Souls series. Be a tougher, harder shell to crack than the damage that nutcracker of a boss can dish out. And it turns out that kind of playstyle means I don't need to hop around for 20 hours in one sitting trying to get the fight just perfect.
I got you, you little bastard. Let's see you hop around now.
I don't need perfection. I just need a shield.
Get this man a shield.
With a shield, you can counter-strike, wait for your opening, or if you have a spear, go 300 Spartan style and stab that motherfucker while you're blocking. I honestly don't know why that technique isn't more popular. You're telling me I can attack and block at the same time? Sign me the fuck up! And here's what's really going to blow your mind. If you cast Scholar's Shield on your buckler, you don't lose stamina by blocking. You can go toe-to-toe with two Crucible Knights who are throwing everything they have at you and not have to blink. Do you understand that? Instead of hopping around like I'm in a shitty sequel to Ocean's 11, I can just use a page out of Al Swearengen's playbook. Take the hit and return in kind.
Stand it like a man. And give some back.
Instead of shitting myself over how I'm going to dodge Radon or Estelle's fuck you magic missile bolts, I can just keep on going, Energizer Bunny style.
Going and going.
Unlike those other kids who will bring you hours and hours of watching them hit their heads against a wall, I don't have any footage of me beating the Lion or Renala or Relena or Millennia or whatever the fuck her name was, because I beat that bad bitch on my third try. I didn't even have the camera rolling. I didn't expect she'd go down faster than a cheap prom date because all I saw from you broflakes was nothing but days and days of getting decimated. As soon as I went in guns blazing with my pole blade and saw that she had a 300 hit combo, I said, fuck it, give me my shield.
Jeffrey?
Break out, Lucille.
I can dodge some of this, but I have to absorb the rest of it if I'm going to stand a chance. And again, I didn't spend days trying to time each dodge just right because, bitch is nothing against a goddamn shield. I can literally tank the entire double moon triple whammy like it was nothing but a stiff breeze. King Kong Elden Beast ain't got shit on me and my Captain America ass.
That is America's ass.
You might as well play Mortal Kombat without using the block button than bitch that your opponent is hacking the game to win. You're not blocking, dumbass. This doesn't even take into account whether or not you're using spirit summons. Speaking of which, as an OG Dark Souls player of the cool kids version that you proletariats can't even get anymore, I think far too many of you have forgotten the good old days of how shit went down in Lordaeron. If you were lucky enough to be able to follow some obtuse quest line and some quietly buried clues, you got the privilege to summon an ally to join you in a boss fight for some
Jolly cooperation.
having Solaire show up beside you or going through the literal depths of hell just so that Sif could hop around while you faced Manus was a fucking achievement and a small piece of the world that let you know there were others in it willing to fight alongside you to help you keep from becoming hollow. Hell, sometimes it was even a fucking cutscene when an ally showed up to aid you in a boss fight. That was camaraderie and a staple of the Dark Souls lore. Now it's a way of life that you can summon aid for some jolly cooperation instead of having to go find it because chances are you might need a second or two for someone else to pull aggro so that you can heal, repower your weapon, get more solid footing, take a second while the boss unloads on someone else so that you can breathe. If you don't want to breathe, fine. No one's forcing you. Solaire will always be there willing to assist a friend in need. But don't turn down that assistance and then piss yourself over the game being too hard. The things that made Dark Souls so iconic and difficult are baked into Elden Ring with some quality of life improvements that make it more accessible to a wider audience. And still you find room to bitch. Well, some of us went hollow a long time ago. It only took the mirror of Elden Ring to show us just how tarnished and maidenless we have become. Rise above it, and do what was always expected of you. Use the tools you've been given to succeed, or fade away with the rest of the Hallows, back to the shadow. As for me, I'm taking my newfound twin blades I got off Melania and going to town with them. Just look at these motherfuckers. All the grace of a dancing blade, the magical power of the Moonlight Greatsword, the explosive force of the Sword of Night and Flame, and it even works well with a shield. Truth be told, I'm in love. And it's just another addition in a long line of adaptive builds and playstyles. Till next time, this is your favorite bard, Korak the Bard, signing off with a word of wisdom from my special guest, Donkey.
This DLC was made specifically for me and the 2 other players that are good enough at video games to handle it.
I don't know who that other guy is, but as for me...
I'm the guy who does his job. You must be the other guy.
I was going to make another video about this, and maybe I will, but for now... Dr. Disrespect sexted a minor, and anyone defending him can go fuck themselves. Everyone else, have a wonderful day.